Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Tuesday. Mara provided their December update yesterday. So we're going to take a look at that. I want to look at Bitcoin also. And I have a question for you guys also on the Mara information that I have. Either I'm trying to do the math wrong or Mara's wrong. One of the two is going to happen here. So when we get into the charts here, I hope you guys had a great day. Obviously, as always, guys, this is for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Do your own research. Don't fall for scams. And spam posts get reported and deleted. So if we look at first Bitcoin here, we'll take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, see how they're doing. And then we'll go from there. Right now, Bitcoin's at 46,000. It has been going down for the past 3 days here on the charts. As you can see, the thing that's concerning to me is obviously we've crossed the 20-day moving average against the 200-day moving average here on the blue line. But as you can see, the price is going down here over the last couple of days. However, the RSI continues to go up, which makes me think that we are still in play to come down even further to the 44,000 or even the 40,000 mark before all of this said and done. Volume has been obviously pretty average for the past couple of days. But obviously, this is the part that worries me most right now is the RSI is going up while the price is going down. We want to reverse that trend where RSI is going either flat or down and price is going up or something like that. But right now, I just don't like the way this is shaping up to be. Let's take a look at Ethereum really quick. Ethereum is, as you can see here on Ethereum, it is going up, but the price is also going up here. And we've also touched the 20-day moving average here. We had a wick yesterday. We touched it, we came back down, so we tested that. So that is kind of our resistance right now on Ethereum. I think if we can get above it, we may be able to swing back up. Otherwise, we're going to be testing the 200-day moving average here, probably within the next couple of days to maybe a week or so. I think we'll possibly come back down and test it if we get rejected again by the 20-day moving average here. So something to be mindful on that as well. So Ethereum is right now at 3,796. And there's not much else going on here, so we'll just leave it at that for now. I think we're still looking okay in Ethereum, but we may be coming back down a little bit. Let's take a quick look at the hash rate on Bitcoin. It has obviously come back up over the last couple of days. It's up to 175 million. We peaked at 181 million here on December 9th. We've fallen down, came back up, fallen down, came back up, and possibly going back up here shortly. Sorry, I had to clear my throat here. But yeah, as more miners are coming online, we're going to see that obviously skyrocket more, especially with Mara installing more miners and things like that. So let's take a look at the miners here really quick, and then we'll get into the Mara news and get into the data that I have on them. So if we look at the mining stocks, it was a kind of mixed bag today. Some were up, some were down, even though Bitcoin was down today. So we're seeing that kind of divergence from what Bitcoin is doing a little bit on the miners here. So Argo is at 122. It was down 8.81 cents. Bitfarms was up 3.37% to 522. CleanSpark was up actually 0.1% to 960. DigiHost was up 3.48% to 476. DMG was up 0.44% to 62 cents. Hive was up 2.26% to 272. Hut 8 was up 4.25% to 810. And Iris Energy was down quite a lot. I'm trying to figure out what's going on there with them, but they were down 11.62% to 1346. Mara was up today 3.77% to 3413. I thought they would have been up a little bit higher based on the news that they provided yesterday on their December numbers. And then we got obviously Mawson was down 8.93% to 602. And then Riot is up 7.21% to 2438. So mixed bag on miners here, trying to figure out what's going on with those. If I find anything out, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so let's get into the numbers here that I have on Mara. Let's make this as big as possible. There we go. Actually, let's get into the news first. We have to talk about that. Okay, so Marathon Digital Holdings announces Bitcoin production and mining operation updates for December 2021. This is their historical and potential hash rate growth based on current shipment schedules of previously purchased miners subject to change. You can see the graph here. I'm not going to try and click on that. Here is their historical and potential hash rate growth based on current shipment schedules. This is their total network hash rate. And this is, I believe, the number of Bitcoins that they mined here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because they were way down here on November for mining Bitcoin. So this is their hash rate, network hash rate compared to how much they were actually mining Bitcoin. So total network hash rate, annual Bitcoin production increases 846% year over year to 3,197 BTC in 2021. Monthly Bitcoin production increases 147% month over month to a record 484.5 BTC as total Bitcoin holdings increased to 8,133 BTC. So obviously this increase is kind of superficial because they were way down here because they had maintenance on their power plant and things like that in November. So that's why they only had 196, I think, Bitcoin mined. So this would have been only maybe an increase of 15% or so had they been normally running. Record order for Bitmain S19 XPs to expand Marathon's mining fleet to approximately 199,000 Bitcoin miners producing 23.3 exahash, by early 2023. And this is the part that I'm having trouble with in my numbers here, making it work for based on what they're reporting here. Here is their historical potential hash rate growth. So obviously they were scheduled to be at 13.3. Then with the announcement of the miners here, the XPs, that brings them up to 23.3 exahash. And then corporate highlights as of January 1st. Produced approximately 3,187 self-Bitcoin mined in fiscal year 2021, which is a nice, huge increase actually, and 846% increase year over year. They produced 1,098 Bitcoins in Q4, including the record, obviously, of 484 in December. Increased total Bitcoin holdings to approximately, we know that, cash on hand. I like the fact that they have a lot of cash on hand. Cash on hand was approximately 268.5 million. And total liquidity defined as cash and Bitcoin holdings was approximately 644.3 million. So that could almost, this is basically their combined totals that they have here would be approximately, what is it, 3/4 of the amount they're going to need to purchase those XP miners from Bitmain, sorry. Let me see here. They received approximately 10,365 top-tier ASIC miners from Bitmain during the month of December and 72,495 miners in 2021 with an additional 10,907 miners currently in transit. They continue to install miners at various facilities operated by Compute North as construction of new mining facilities progresses. So here's the important part here. Existing mining fleet consists of 32,350 active miners producing approximately 3.5 exahash. So we'll get into those numbers here in a little bit here. And then in December purchase, obviously the miners XP, so that's a recap of it. Bitcoin production update. Let's see what they got here. Yeah, there's a chart of how much they had Bitcoins mined, 196 in November, 484.5, obviously. Had they not had that downtime for about 2 weeks or so, they would have been closer to probably 420 or so, 430. So that would have been an increase of maybe 10%, 15% on their mining instead of the 146 that they reported. Let me see if there's anything else here. Interesting miner installation and hash rate growth. This is just a recap of everything. Management commentary. I think you guys can read that on your own. There isn't really anything worthwhile that hasn't been already touched on here going forward. So let's take a look at the numbers here. So here's what I got for them for the fourth quarter to get to the numbers that they provided. They reported 32,350 miners being in operation. That would mean all of these miners here right now are in operation, plus these. And in order to get it to that marker, 3.3 exahash, I had to increase basically all of these 100 terahash miners to 110 terahash in order for the math to work. And then obviously going forward, they got these coming up in the next year, deliveries of the 140 terahash miners from July to December, and then we still have some outstanding miners that they're supposed to get in here. I also had to increase the M31S plus miners to 90 terahash from 80 terahash in order to make this work, and I think they might be getting rid of these here, obviously in exchange for the newer miners that are coming online. So those might be going out if those are actually 80 terahash instead of the 90 that I have them here. But in order to make the math work, this is what I got them at. So we got them at 59.2 million gross revenue for the quarter based on basically these miners here working for 2.5 months. And that's because they were down for that 2 weeks in November, remember? So we had to accommodate for that. So that's why that is the way it is. And then also, when they reported that these came in, I added those in as well for 1.5 months. These are in for a month. These are in only for half a month. And this is where we stand right now at 32,350 miners at 3.5 exahash, which is what they have. So based on that information, if we look at some of the statistics here that we got, here's where we're looking at. Obviously, the price of Mara is 34.13. Institutional hasn't changed. Number of institutions hasn't changed either. But we can see here on the 1 week, 4 week, 8 week, and 12 week, everybody is pretty much down on it, except for a couple of the miners. But it's all red for the last 3 months. And then here is basically what I have on them. If you use the price earnings multiple of 20, I gave them basically, I have two variables here, 50% discount from gross revenue and 75% to make net income. So at 50% at price earnings multiple of 20, they would have been at 1482. And then in price earnings at multiple 20 at 75% net income of gross revenue, you'd be at 2223, which to me is overvalued right now. So they're overvalued right now, in my opinion. But if we increase the price to earnings slider to, I think it's 30, we get closer in line to where, the stock is basically trading at price PE 30 right now, as opposed to going with the industry average of 20. And then some of the other miners are actually trading at much lower multiples here of price to earnings. Obviously, I think this is because they have a lot more miners that are going to be installed. They're obviously the top dog to beat right now. They're going to have basically double what anybody else is going to have almost. I think there's Iris Energy is going to have, I think, 15 exahash, something like that, if I remember correctly. But this is why I think they're just getting a higher multiple because of that. Otherwise, if everything was fair and equal, they would all be valued, with the same kind of price to earnings multiple. Bitcoin HODL obviously is 8,133, so that gives them a value of 375 million, roughly 376 million, and that's a market to HODL ratio of 11.13%, and one share basically holds $3.80 of Bitcoin value in it. And let me see here. So current hash rate is at 3.31. Future hash rate is at 25. I have them at 25,457. This is where I need to work on the math a little bit and may need your guys' help as well. So right now I have them operational at 13.87%. Total number of miners right now installed is 32,350. And then currently their average hash rate per miner is 109,000. So going to the math here, let's take a look at it here really quick. If Bitcoin obviously goes up to 100,000, if we use their multiple here of 30, they should be closer to like $49, and then 150,000 for Bitcoin. You're looking at 63, and 200,000, 78.19. But obviously, if they were using the standard industry average, you'd be at 32, 42, and 52 on them. So there's obviously upside potential here, especially as they get more miners installed. Okay, so let's take a look at my math here. This is where it gets kind of interesting, where I can't, for some reason, make the math work out for me. So we know that they're reporting of having 199,000 miners when they reach the 23.3 exahash. So this is the 23.3 exahash right here. So these miners here, the 78,000 that they're supposed to get in next year, which are the 140 terahash miners, those would represent basically 10,920 or 10.9 exahash, which is right here. That leaves us with 12.3 roughly exahash that they have for the remaining miners of 121,000. So if we were to use the remaining 121,000 miners here and divide that into the hash rate, the 12.3 exahash, you would basically come out with the miners would have to be 102,000 terahash, which then again doesn't make it work for these numbers here because you have 32,350, but you're getting 3.5, so you need higher hash rate miners. So I'm a little bit confused by the data. I don't know if the data is accurate as it should be, or if they're just going by some wild numbers here, or somebody did some calculation mistakes here. But this just doesn't somehow jive for me as far as how this should work out. They should be at 100,000 roughly, or there should be 102 terahash basically miners, and none of these here that I got listed to make this work are that. I have these at 110, some of these at 90 obviously, and like I said, the only way to make this work, the 32,350 miners into the 3.5 exahash, is you got to use the 110 terahash miners. So well, obviously have to keep an eye on it, see how it goes forward, but it is not accurate in my opinion, at least. Let me know what you guys think, or if you guys have better data on this, or if you have some better information. I'd love to have it. If you guys could share with me, that'd be great. But right now, this doesn't add up to me right now, at least. So maybe they can clarify in the earnings or someplace else where the data is and what the accurate number should be, because right now it just doesn't add up. But that's it. Otherwise, great quarter by them. Obviously, they're growing by leaps and bounds. They're going to be the biggest player in the business here. So I see them, especially with Bitcoin. We don't know what Bitcoin's going to go up. If Bitcoin goes up, we could see them obviously being at over $100 per share sometime this year if Bitcoin does go up to 100,000 or something like that. Especially if they get all the miners installed. But that's the big if. You need to have the infrastructure in place. You need to have the deliveries on time. And there's just a lot of variables in the shipping channels right now as far as, just getting product. There's chip shortages. There's everything's going up in price. The carriers are not delivering when they're supposed to be delivering. There's, the ships are waiting in ports right now to get offloaded, and it's a bottleneck. It's a headache. So we'll have to monitor it, see how things progress. But even if they get close to that, I think they're going to do really, really, really well. I wouldn't be surprised if they get up to $100 possibly, because of their overall hash rate that they're going to have. One of the things I'm working on, hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have a video for you guys as far as where I think the miners' prices could be as far as for the end of this year. Well, I'm trying to figure out the best way to calculate it, whether it's using the last quarters, which is this quarter's Q4s for going forward, and then increasing it by their hash rate that they're expected to have in each quarter, and seeing if Bitcoin just stays basically where it's at right now, right around 50,000, and then possibly 100,000 if it goes up that high. And obviously we have to take into account the hash rate for the total network, because that's obviously going to play a big role in it as well. So those are some of the things I'm working on. We'll see if any of the other miners provide any information as well during this week and next week. This is only 2 of the miners that I've provided so far, and we still got 9 more to go before all is said and done. And I'm still working on some of the other miners you guys requested as well to do deep dives on them. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you thought. And then also if you like this type of content, the routine, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Helps me out tremendously. I do appreciate you guys watching very much. Have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then,